Hi everyone, I'm back once again with another book review, and today I'm gonna be reviewing The Festering by Guyan Smith. As usual, let's just show off this, beautiful cover. This is actually one of my favorite covers for Guyan Smith books because, come on, look at it. It's like, it's beautiful, ain't it? But yeah, alright, but anyways, this book was released in 1989. This is released by Arrow. I'm not so sure who's the first publisher, or it is like a first edition. One thing I do know is that this book is, as you can see, it's kind of beat up. Like, the market's there, here. The spine's pretty good condition, but then you got all these, like, little cracks on the edges. But still a readable copy, so, no big deal. This is probably going to be another quick review because, well, like I said before, like about a lot of other Guyan Smith books, they're pretty simple and they're pretty short. Like this one's only 191 pages. So this is, I mean, it's about average for some of his books. It's a little shorter than some of his other ones I've read. Anyways, so this review is gonna be spoiler free because, well, this book you can actually still get. Well, maybe like a physical copy is a little hard to get, but you can get digital ones quite easily. Anyways, actually, yeah, I'm gonna do my usual thing. Gonna read the back of the book here. For Mike and Holly Mannanen, the tumble-down cottage in a quiet country village seemed the ideal retreat from the rat race. But when a team of contractors is hired to drill a water well, a deadly plague is unleashed. A macabre, terrifying entity that had lurked in the bowels of the earth for centuries. The festering death had risen from its burial place. Okay, I'm just sure. It's amazing if you want to try to read it yourself. Anyways, you can just pause it while I show it there. But yeah, this review, but I'm going to do like the basics of plot, my usual thing. Basically, this book, it opens in a unspecified time. I believe it's an unspecified time. It's definitely back then, because at least later in the book they do say maybe when this event happened, but the prologue is about this man who has this like terrible disease where there's like he's covered in these like ulcers, these like, and I guess like his skin is rotting, that sort of thing. I mean, I guess it's like he looks something like this, that sort of thing. Like, yeah, he has this terrible disease, and it seems like he goes into a barn just to die, because it was pretty common back then. Like people, if they were dying of some disease, they would just go somewhere kind of away from people to die. But then a witch hunter sort of he just shows up, and he wants to know what this guy with this terrible disease is. So again, I'm not spoiling because this is just the prologue. But yeah, they kill the man, they hang him, and then after he's dead, the witch hunter orders the villagers to dig a hole as deep as they can, and I believe they spend like 2 days nonstop, digging this hole. Yeah, I think it was 2 days, but anyways, they just, they dig a really, really deep hole, and then they put the body in there. And at least the witch hunter's just telling them, like, oh, there's still flesh on this guy's body, so the disease won't spread, because it seems like this disease eats away the flesh. So, as I say, as long as there's still flesh on his body, it won't spread to the others. That's what he's saying. But anyways, yeah, they cover the body up, they bury it in that giant hole, that really deep hole. That's like, and they're just like hoping, like, okay, hopefully it stays forgotten forever, so this disease will be gone forever. Well, centuries later, again, they don't really say when this happened, but like at least that exact event. Yeah, there's this married couple, named Mike and Holly. They moved to this quiet village in the countryside to get away from like the busy life in London, that sort of thing. And Mike, well, he's an artist for a book company. Like, he actually draws book covers and that sort of thing, which I thought was like, oh, that's kind of neat, Actually, the thing is that, yeah, he draws and paints mainly, that sort of thing. Anyways, but yeah, that's his job. And I don't think Holly, at least I don't recall her having any type of job, at least not at the moment though. Anyways, yeah, they move to the countryside. They buy this, nice cottage. They're hoping, start a quiet life there. Although it's mainly Holly who wants to move there. Anyways, yeah, they move there, and well, they have some issues getting water. Like they talk about, like, I believe when they try to use the sink and such, like, oh no, water's coming out, and they decide to, like, it's apparently because they're not the most reliable, so they decide to get their own water source. So they pay a contractor to drill a well for them. And well, the contractor, they dig the hole, but there's some complications that happen. For one, they're like, oh, they're digging for it, and they're like, no water's coming out. So they dig deeper and deeper, and then, well, they find some water, but then there's this like terrible, terrible, stench that's released that just smells like, everyone's like, oh, it smells terrible. Apparently, it's like one of those terrible stenches that you can sort of taste as well. So yeah, that's pleasant. Anyways, but yeah, they dig it there, and they're like saying, oh, the water, it looks weird, and it, obviously smells terrible. So they're just kind of thinking like, okay, well, we'll just keep maybe they talk about like sulfur or other things may build up there, or weird things. So they talk about like, oh, we'll put things in the water to purify it, and keep pumping it, and hopefully they just get some clean water, that sort of thing. And well, soon after, strange things starts happening. Like some of the contractors start having some weird, like boils or ulcers growing on their body, and they start to go a little crazy, and other things. I'm not gonna go through all the symptoms because I don't want to like spoil the whole thing, And well, I will say this though, yeah, there's some pretty. They're not the most graphic kills at all in this this book. Sorry, but they are kind of gross. I will say that. Like for example, one guy when he kills his girlfriend after he's suffering from this terrible festering disease, they describe like he basically kills her and he has all these like boils growing all over his body, these like ulcers filled with like hot pus, and they're just like, oh, like when he kills that woman, he starts dying, and when he does, like they describe like these ulcers burst, and he just sort of like squirts pus everywhere and blood, that sort of thing. And this is like some, I guess some gross moments involving this, disease, because I mean, like, well, you can see right there, it turns people, as people grow these kind of things there, and eats away your flesh, that sort of thing. And I sort of said before, but yeah, also this disease, like it makes people go crazy. They tend to just hallucinate and go really violent and have a few other symptoms, which again, I'll just, if you go read this, you'd find out yourself, that sort of thing. Anyways, that's the basic plot. It's, I say, well, yeah, it's just, I guess to say it's like a body horror kind of story, because it's about this terrible disease that does, really gross things, and of course it makes people go, crazy and kill each other's. So, anyways, I should really wrap this up, and I guess not my final thoughts, but as you can tell, I enjoy this book. It's not my favorite Guy Smith book. I think so far, I mean, as I said before, I believe I said before, Cannibals is still my favorite, but this one was enjoyable. It was a little bit different than his usual, like, oh, like when animals attack, kind of thing. This one was about some, ancient disease that was, has been unleashed, that sort of thing. And didn't rely so much on gore, more about, I guess, just gross stuff. So, it's a little nice change of pace from other Guy Smith books I've been reading lately. So, again, I'm really terrible when it comes to giving a score for a book, but I would give this a nice, maybe 3.5. Like, it's enjoyable. It's a pretty easy read. Like, again, like a lot of his books, just turn off your brain, you can enjoy it, and it's pretty short. Like I said, it's only 190 pages, and those pages are not that daunting to get through. So yeah, if that sounds like your cup of tea, like, or something like, again, involving, I guess, blood and pus and, diseases and people going crazy, sound, tickles your fancy, then, well, there you go. Anyways, yeah, sorry this is not the best review. It's just a quick one I decided to film because I've been meaning to get to this, review for a while, but just kept, being lazy. Anyways, so I'll see you guys next time. So until then, take care. Bye-bye.